Good evening, everyone. This is Gene from New York City again with another video. To quote Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, I'm not trying to steal his catchphrase, I swear. So this evening, I'll be making a video about razors. Hence why razor is the photo I'm using for tonight's item. And it's actually related because I'm going to be giving my thoughts on that Gillette commercial. The Gillette Toxic Masculinity commercial, which I have now viewed twice, which has sparked anger in me both times. So let me start off by addressing Gillette. Gillette, you done goofed. You done goofed so bad you have pretty much slit your own throat with a razor. Okay, people are so mad at you that I think a good chunk of them would rather go to this guy, Sweeney Todd. I think a lot of people would rather go to Sweeney Todd to get a shave and a haircut than to buy your product right now. And look at Sweeney here, holding a weapon, all toxic with his legs spread, man spreading. Okay, this is how much you have pissed off people. You have pissed off your customer base, you have pissed off men, you have pissed off women like myself, who actually really like guys. So, I'm just going to start from the top and just discuss various parts of the ad that I really don't like. So, I'm going to start at the very, very, very top. The ad for, again, a razor. A razor. For a razor. This ad for a razor has the gall. Gillette has the unmitigated gall and arrogance to refer to this ad as a short film. Gillette, it is not a short film. It's not a film at all. It is a trailer. It is an extended ad for a razor. And for all the talk and for all the preaching about toxic masculinity and how men must check other men, because guys don't do that already, right? They don't check each other. They don't, police each other, literally and figuratively. I mean, they don't do that at all as it is. I mean, they totes don't. All the time, I've seen guys tell other men to, sit down, cool down. Heck, the conversation I overheard tonight as I was eating at a McDonald's of a male supervisor sternly and very strongly disciplining his employee because the employee had actually spoken in an untoward way toward a woman. So it totally didn't happen, right? Never happens. Dudes never check other dudes. But anyway, you have the gall to refer to this as a short film. It's an ad. Okay, this did not debut at the Cannes Film Festival. It's an ad. And as I was saying before, it is an ad that for all the preaching it does forgets the most important flippin' part. The razors! There's not one shot of a razor blade on the dang ad. A toy from God knows 1990 what remembers the razors. But you don't. Do you realize how dumb this is? Do you realize that with all the preaching, you forgot the most important part? To pitch the razors. Okay? As someone who actually uses men's razors, because women's razors suck. Okay? They're never sharp enough. I want to know how sharp the razor is. I want to know how many blades it has. I want to know how close it can cut to the skin and cut the hair without cutting me. That's what I want to know. That's what I care about. The razor blade. Not the company's stance on social issues that they make caricatures out of and don't understand. Gillette, you're a razor company. Okay? Razors, that's what you sell. You're not selling the promise of a future like, say, a politician is. You sell razors. No one asked for your opinion, right, on the culture war or on the gender war or anything else. No one asked you for that. No one asked you. Why did you make this stupid ad? So there's that. I wanted to start off there. Then there's the next part that I wanted to address was the fact that the ad proper starts out with bullying, right? A kid's being chased. Then you see a son crying in his mother's arms, because he's been bullied. Bullying is bad. I don't think anybody has to say it, but I'm going to say it. Bullying is bad. Cyberbullying is bad. Guess what? Both sexes engage in bullying. Men bully. Women bully. I know because I was bullied in school. By men and by women. Okay, well, girls and boys, I should say. The boys made fun of me, made fun of my appearance, made fun of the sound of my voice and the way I spoke as a teenager. The girls threatened to jump me. So I'm well aware of the fact that boys and girls bully. Okay, here's the thing. Bullying is not a dude thing. It is not a girl thing. It is a mean children are a-holes thing. That's what it's about. Okay, bullying is not a gender role or a gender performance. Okay? It's a mean thing that some mean people do. And yes, those children need to be checked, and those children need to be disciplined. But we don't need... Yes, we how do I put this? We should in general have a, message that says bullying is bad, but there's a difference between saying bullying is bad because you hurt other people's feelings, don't be the bully. And then they're saying, you're male, so you're gonna bully. Remember, you're male, so you're more likely to bully. Don't be a bully. Because, you have this, ticking time bomb inside of you called testosterone that makes you more prone to bullying. That's not a positive message. That's not a healthy message. And that's probably the biggest issue with this ad. Or one of. It's not a healthy, positive message until the end. It spends nearly a minute. It spends like 48 seconds mired in negativity. In negativity that it doesn't even, again, understand or care to understand. Bullying is not a dude thing. It's not something only men do. And then it brings up Me Too. Did they forget, or do they even know that a woman by the name of Asia Argento was caught up in the Me Too thing recently because it's alleged that she had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old boy, if I remember the story correctly? Are they aware of that? Do they care about that? Me Too, bullying, so many social issues. It's not just a guy thing. It's not just men engaging in it. Okay? This is, bad behavior from human beings. Some of them are men. Some of them are women. But it's all bad behavior. And it is not fair to blame men and to put the onus on them to be better. We should all be better. But you don't get to hold the actions of other people on another person's head. Like, I'm a woman, in case you couldn't tell. I am not responsible for the actions of other women. Now, if I see a woman, acting badly, right, and I'm aware of the situation, yeah, I'll call her out. I'll tell her she's wrong. But just because, there are women out there who say, are nagging, or who are mean, or who don't treat their children right, or who manipulate their boyfriends, right? I'm not responsible for that. I'm not guilty of that. I am not guilty by virtue of being female for those things. So if I'm not guilty of toxic femininity, right, by inherently being female, then by my logic, men are not inherently guilty of toxic masculinity by virtue of being male. Masculinity and femininity are neither positive or negative. It is how you express them that makes them positive or negative or toxic or non-toxic. That's the way personally I approach it. But I cannot stand this message of men are inherently toxic. They're not. Same way women are not inherently toxic. There are some people who happen to be male who are inherently bad. There are some people who happen to be female who are inherently bad. People. I want to repeat that. people, not genders, people who happen to be a particular gender. There is a difference. Learn it, Gillette. So there's that. Then the next big thing where I'm just like, what are you doing? Is when the first female that they show of note that actually has a name that like people recognize is Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks. Do you realize how many people literally noped out when they did that? Anna is a controversial figure, to say the least. The Young Turks are a controversial figure, to say the least. Let me explain to you how bad this is. This would be like if you're a gamer, right, and this ad was about, toxic online behavior, toxic gamer behavior. And then the first notable female they show is Anita Sarkeesian. Gamers in mass would nope out. Because Anita Sarkeesian does not speak for gamers. She is not pro-gamer. She's not pro-video game. She is not pro-anything except herself. Or, say for example, you're a comic fan, right? And this was about, the toxic, behaviors in comic fandom. And the first female of note that they were to show is Gail Simone. Do you know how many people are going to nope out? Gail Simone is a very controversial figure, right? Gail Simone, I wouldn't say is the originator, but she's most famous for the whole women in refrigerators idea, which has been thoroughly debunked, right? She's the one that, shames writers just because they have not overtly disavowed, I should say, Comicsgate. Yet she can't write a decent Domino comic to save her life. People would automatically nope out if all of a sudden Gillette put her face in this ad. Because people don't like her. When you choose controversial figures, you lose customers. And by putting Anna Kasparian in this, you show just how out of touch, Gillette, just how out of touch you are with this. Then they go to the part where it's the two kids wrestling on the ground, right? And then you have this literal wall of dudes who are grilling food, going, boys will be boys, boys will be boys. I never heard anybody say that. My brother, to my knowledge, has never heard anybody say that. So I don't know where that comes from. That's like a weird stereotype that just won't go away. I've seen boys check boys. I've seen men discipline their children. I've never seen someone say, oh, that's okay. That's a permissible act if a kid, or especially a boy, did something wrong. Boys will be boys. Who cares? I don't know of anyone, at least in my lifetime, in my experience, who has said that. So again, that's an old trope, like the whole, nerd who lives in mom's basement and can't get a date. That's an old trope that needs to die, because it's not true. But then again, this whole ad for the movie, I shouldn't say the whole ad, but, the good chunk of this ad is not true. The first part of this ad is a heel promo in pro wrestling, right? It's just designed to just make you angry with all of its falsehoods. And then they try to make it up at the end by showing, positive stuff, right? An older man with, well, I shouldn't say an older man, but, it looks like about, 30s, maybe 40s, he's a dad, breaking up, or rather, stopping all these kids from chasing this one boy. It's like, first of all, we don't know why all these kids are chasing this boy. The narrative is that, they're bullying him, they're picking on him, but we're not actually told why they're actually all chasing him. And again, I speak as somebody who was bullied by, evil, mean kids of both sexes. So we don't know why this boy is being chased. Then we have another one where a father is, holding his little daughter, and he's telling her that she's strong, which is a beautiful thing, and I think that's wonderful. Girls need their dads in their lives, but so do men, so do boys. I can't imagine how many men there are in the world who, all they wanted, right, all they've worked for is to get their father's approval, to just have the old man say, "I'm proud of you. You did good." So why can't we have a narrative where we see a father talking to his son and his daughter about being a good person, about, saying, "I am strong, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that." Why can't we show a man being encouraging both to both his kids, both to his son and to his daughter? I don't understand why we can't show this. I don't understand the stupid ad at all. I think if they had led with the beginning, sorry, not the beginning. I think if they had led with the ending, if they had started with, showing a guy or just showing men doing good things, positive things, I think there wouldn't have been such a backlash. There certainly would have been backlash. Like, again, the father only addressing a girl. But I think in general it would have been received better. But when you lead with the negative, and not only do you lead with the negative, right? You take that negative and you smear it and you spread it and you paint it with broad strokes and you accuse all men, right, of these ills. You just mired in it, just covered in it. And it's just disgusting, really. You can't, spend 48 seconds, browbeating men, and then go and then try to, rebound at the end and have a positive message. It's too late. It's too late after that. I think if they just focus on showing a guy you actually using a Gillette razor. I think if Gillette had just led with a positive ad of just showing a guy actually using the razor, right? The razors. And then just, being a good guy, right? Going to work and, making that big deal that makes him and his company more money. Him maybe, breaking up a fight or whatever as he goes home from work. And then, show him coming home to his wife and his kids, show him engaging with his children and disciplining them, but also, hugging them and loving them, showing him being a healthy, good man. Right? That would have been a much better approach in my estimation. It's like the old saying, right? You get more flies with honey than with vinegar. All they've done is just sprinkle themselves and sprinkle this, not even sprinkle, pour vinegar all over themselves. And, people, just like they are repulsed by the scent of actual vinegar, people are repulsed by the figurative scent and the message of this ad. Now, there are a few more things that I want to address. I don't know if boycotting Gillette is going to do much. Now, I'm not saying people shouldn't. If you want to, I think that's fine. It's your right. It's your money. Okay, so I'm going to try to wrap this up because I've had to stop the video twice now because there's stuff going on in the background. I totally lost my place. So here's my final thoughts on this Gillette razor commercial. It's a bad commercial. It's a toxic commercial. We all know dang good and well they would never make a toxic femininity commercial to sell razor blades to women. Here's my challenge to Gillette. If you actually care about men and you want men to be the best they can be, then donate to, homeless shelters so that you can help men who have lost their way get back on their feet and live stable lives again. Donate to veterans organizations, right? Donate to shelters for men who suffer from, domestic violence. That's how you can contribute. That's how you can demonstrate that you actually care about men instead of just care about preaching a message that you don't understand a damn thing about. Okay, so in closing, I would like to quote an old 80s song as I often do. I would like to say, let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand. Let's give the men in our lives a good hand. Give them a hand. Give them a round of applause. To my brother, you are not evil because you're a guy. You are who you are because of who you are. Most importantly, you're my younger brother. And if anybody tries anything, anybody tries to hurt you, anybody tries to shame you, I'm going to throw hands. Just put it that way. So, let's try to calm down and stare at this adorable puppy. Alright, try to close out the video on a positive note. Look at the puppy. Look at that tongue. Look at that cute little furry head and that smile. Alright, so let's actually go out and be like this puppy. Let's be happy. Let's smile. Or try to smile. Or do manic grins if people tell us, hey, smile. But I just want to end on a positive note. Little puppy face. So, I hope you have a good night. And men, don't let this stupid ad define you. Let your actions define you. Have a good night.